She was unconscious for 47 days. 47. When Emily finally opened her eyes, the room exploded with relief. Her mother cried. Her daughter cried. Even one of the nurses wiped away tears. For weeks, nobody knew if she would survive. And now, against all expectations, she was awake. Everyone thought the nightmare was over. It wasn't, because less than 5 minutes after opening her eyes, Emily asked a simple question. A question that should have had a simple answer. She looked directly at her husband and said, "When can I go home?" And suddenly, the room went silent. Not awkward silence, not uncomfortable silence. The kind of silence that appears when nobody wants to be the first person to tell the truth. Emily looked around. The doctor stared at the floor. Her mother looked away. Her husband swallowed hard. And for the first time since waking up, Emily felt afraid. Because everyone in that room seemed to know something she didn't. Stay with me. Because what Emily discovered over the next few weeks would destroy everything she thought she knew about her life. And the person responsible was the man she trusted most. 3 months earlier, Emily's life had been ordinary. She was 35 years old, married for 9 years, mother to an 8-year-old daughter named Sophie. She wasn't rich. She wasn't famous. But she was happy. She and her husband Jason had spent nearly a decade building a life together. They had a modest house, a reliable car, a small savings account, and the kind of future that comes from years of hard work and shared sacrifice. If you had asked Emily to name the person she trusted most in the world, she would have answered immediately. Jason, without hesitation, without doubt, without knowing that trust can sometimes be the most expensive thing a person owns. The accident happened on a Tuesday. One moment she was driving home from work. The next moment, a truck missed a stoplight. Emily never saw it coming. The impact was devastating. Doctors worked through the night. There were surgeries, complications, and finally a coma. The doctors were careful with their words. They said she might wake up. They said she might not. Nobody knew. Jason appeared heartbroken. He sat beside her bed, held her hand, spoke to doctors, comforted family members. People admired him. They called him devoted, strong, loyal. Nobody realized that while Emily lay unconscious in a hospital bed, Jason was making decisions that would change everything. At first, nobody noticed. A few items disappeared from the house. Jason explained that he needed money for expenses. People understood. Then more things disappeared. The television, the dining set, some jewelry, then the car. Every time someone asked questions, Jason had an answer, and every answer sounded reasonable. After all, everyone believed he was fighting to save his wife's life. Nobody imagined he was preparing for a future without her. Then something strange happened. About a month into Emily's coma, Jason began receiving phone calls late at night. Calls he never answered in front of other people. Calls that made him leave the room. Calls that always ended with the same sentence. Not yet. Nobody knew what that meant. But someone had noticed. A nurse who overheard something she wasn't supposed to hear. At the time, she thought nothing of it. Months later, she would remember every word, because those words explained everything. When Emily finally left the hospital, she expected to return her home. Instead, Jason drove her somewhere else. A small apartment on the edge of town. Emily thought it was temporary. Maybe renovations. Maybe repairs. Maybe insurance issues. Then she saw her daughter's face. Children are terrible liars. And Sophie looked terrified. Emily asked again, "Where's our house?" Jason didn't answer immediately, because some truths become harder to say the longer they are hidden. And Emily could feel it. Something was wrong. Deeply wrong. They were not going home. They were going somewhere else. A small apartment. Not their house. Not their street. Not their life. Emily kept asking questions, but Jason avoided her eyes. Sophie, their daughter, sat quietly in the corner of the room, unusually silent. Children are never silent without reason, and that silence frightened Emily more than anything else. That night, Emily barely slept. Every sound in the apartment felt unfamiliar. Every wall felt temporary. Every silence felt heavy. And Jason kept checking his phone, again and again, like he was waiting for something or someone. The next morning, Emily tried to stand on her own. Her body was weak. 7 weeks in a hospital had taken more from her than the accident itself. But she forced herself to walk into the living room. That's when she saw it. A box. Open. Half-packed. Her things inside. Clothes. Documents. A few personal items. And something worse. Her house keys. She turned slowly and looked at Jason. "What is this?" Jason didn't speak at first. Then he said something that didn't make sense. "We had to make a decision." Emily froze. "What decision?" Jason exhaled and finally said it. "The house is gone." For a moment, Emily didn't understand. Gone can mean many things. Sold, lost, destroyed, or taken. She asked again, and this time, Jason's voice broke slightly. "I sold it." Silence. Not shock, not anger. Silence. The kind that happens when the brain refuses to process information. Emily laughed slightly, a confused laugh. "You sold our house." Jason nodded. "What?" That was the question that mattered. Jason looked away and said something worse. "We needed stability." Emily stared at him. "Stability?" Jason finally looked up. "I handled everything while you were unconscious." Everything. That word felt wrong. Emily took a step back. Her mind began connecting pieces. The missing items, the late-night calls, the apartment, the silence from everyone around her. And then she asked the question she was afraid to ask. Where did the money go? Jason hesitated. Too long, too obvious. And then he said it. Debt. But even as he said it, Emily knew it wasn't the full truth. Because debt doesn't feel like this. Debt doesn't feel like secrecy. Debt doesn't feel like fear. And debt doesn't make someone avoid eye contact. 2 days later, Emily got the second shock. A message arrived from an unknown number, but Sophie saw it first. And what she said changed everything. "Mom, that's Dad's second phone." Emily felt her stomach drop. Second phone. Everyone has secrets. But second phones are not for bills. They are for lives. Hidden once. That night, Emily waited. She didn't confront him immediately. She watched, listened, and learned something she wasn't ready for. Jason wasn't just hiding money. He was hiding someone. A woman. But not a stranger. Not a coworker. Not someone random. It was someone Emily knew. Someone she trusted. Someone who had been inside her home. Someone who had visited her in the hospital. Someone who had held her hand and cried. Her younger sister, Claire. The realization didn't arrive loudly. It arrived quietly. Like collapse. Not dramatic. Just final. Everything suddenly made sense. The phone calls. The distance. The urgency to sell everything. The way Claire had always been helping. Helping Jason. Helping the family. Helping Emily. But now Emily understood. Some help is not help. Some help is preparation. When Jason finally came home that night, Emily didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't ask questions. She just sat there and said one thing.
I know.
I know. Jason stopped walking. And for the first time, he looked afraid. Not of losing money. Not of losing status. But of being seen. Truly seen. What followed was not a dramatic confession. It was silence. Heavy silence. Truth doesn't need many words once it is exposed. Over the next weeks, everything collapsed. The relationship, the trust, the family image, everything Emily thought she had built. Gone. But something else began. Rebuilding. Slow. Painful. Real. She moved in with her mother. Started physical therapy again. Learned how to walk without shaking. Learned how to sit without breaking. Learned how to breathe without remembering. And most importantly, she learned something she had forgotten. She was still herself. Not Jason's wife. Not Claire's sister. Not the woman in the hospital bed. Just Emily. 2 years later, Emily stood in front of small home. Not the old one. A new one. Quiet. Simple. Owned only by her. No shared names. No shared secrets. Just hers. That evening, she received one final message. Jason, I am sorry. I lost everything. Emily read it once and replied, not with anger, not with emotion, just truth. You didn't lose me. You gave me back to myself. Then she blocked the number. And for the first time in years, she smiled without pain because she finally understood something important. Some people don't break you, they reveal you. And sometimes, what feels like destruction is actually a beginning. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever discovered a truth that changed everything? I read every single one. Subscribe for more stories like this. Real, raw, and always worth your time. All animations, characters, and visuals in this video are original AI-generated content created exclusively for this channel. All stories are original fictional narratives written for entertainment and educational purposes.